I used to live in a small one-story house with my girlfriend. It wasn't much, but it was ours. A cheap rental with peeling paint and drafty windows, tucked away in a quiet neighborhood. The only thing I hated was the crawl space. The crawl space entrance was in the hallway closet, a square wooden hatch about 3 feet wide. The landlord told us it was just dirt and insulation under there, nothing important. I hated how the air around it always smelled faintly of mildew. I put a stack of boxes on top so I didn't have to see it. For the first few months, everything was normal, but then little things started happening. Food disappeared from the fridge. Doors I knew I'd closed were cracked open. My girlfriend thought I was forgetting things. I thought she was. Until one night, when I was home alone, I heard something underneath the floor. It sounded like footsteps, slow, deliberate, right under the living room. I froze. The TV was off, the house silent, but beneath me was a steady creak, like weight shifting on the beams. I told myself it had to be pipes, or maybe raccoons. But deep down, I knew what footsteps sounded like. The next morning, I opened the crawl space hatch with a flashlight. The smell hit me first, damp dirt, rot, and something sour, like old sweat. I shined the light around but saw nothing, just blackness stretching farther than I thought the house even went. When I told my girlfriend, she brushed it off, but I noticed she started locking the bedroom door at night when I worked late. She never said why. Then one night she called me, whispering, "There's someone in the house." She'd woken to heavy breathing outside the bedroom door. She hid in the closet until I got home. I searched the house. Every door locked, every window latched. Nothing. But the crawl space hatch, wide open. That was it. I stayed up that night in the dark, listening. At around 2:30 a.m., I heard it again, the faint scrape of nails against wood, directly beneath the couch I was sitting on. I lost it. I grabbed my flashlight and dropped into the crawl space. The dirt pressed close on all sides. My light swept across the ground until it landed on something in the far corner. A sleeping bag, empty food wrappers, and a pile of Polaroid photos. I picked one up. It was me, asleep in bed. Another showed me cooking in the kitchen. Another, my girlfriend brushing her hair. They'd been taken from inside the house. I scrambled out, heart pounding, and slammed the hatch shut. I wanted to leave, but my girlfriend insisted we couldn't afford it. We argued until dawn. The next day, when she was at work, I forced myself back down there with gloves and a backpack, ready to grab the evidence for police. But everything was gone. The sleeping bag, the wrappers, the Polaroids. All that remained was a single scrap of paper, scrawled across it, "Stop looking." When I went to the police, they acted like I was paranoid. One officer humored me, came to the house, and we crawled down together. That's when he noticed something I hadn't, a wooden panel at the far end. Behind it was a tunnel, a hand-dug passage carved deeper into the earth, tall enough for a man to stand. We followed it until we found shelves dug into the dirt walls. On those shelves were stacks of Polaroids, not just of us, of strangers, families, children, people sleeping, eating, brushing their teeth. The officer called for backup immediately. We never found the man. They think he was living there, maybe for years, moving from crawl space to crawl space. They told us to leave that night. We didn't argue. It's been years since then, and I live in a different house now. But some nights, when the house is quiet, I swear I hear faint scraping under the floor, and I can't help but wonder, did he follow us? After the police found the tunnel, my girlfriend and I moved out the same night. We didn't even take half our stuff, just clothes, laptops, and anything we could grab in one trip. The landlord never gave us trouble about leaving. Maybe he already knew. We moved into a small apartment across town. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. No more creaks under the floor, no more damp mildew smell, no crawl space to dread. But it didn't last. A week after moving in, I came home late from work. My girlfriend was asleep, and as I shut the door behind me, I noticed something strange, a folded Polaroid picture on the welcome mat. It was me. Unlocking the apartment door. The hallway was empty. No cameras in the building. No one hanging around outside. My stomach dropped. I tore down the stairwell out into the street. Nothing. Just quiet night air. I didn't tell my girlfriend. I wanted to believe maybe it was old. Maybe I'd dropped it myself. But a few days later, she found one tucked under her pillow. It was her, brushing her hair in the bathroom, just like before. We called the police again. They came, looked around, and left with the same answer as last time. Could be a prank, no signs of forced entry. So we bought new locks, cameras, even a bat. For a few nights, nothing happened. Until one morning, I woke to the sound of the camera alert on my phone. Motion detected in the living room. I pulled it up, expecting to see my girlfriend. Instead, the footage showed a tall, thin figure standing in the corner of the living room, just inside the apartment. His head was tilted, arms hanging limp at his sides. He wasn't wearing the same clothes as before, but something about his posture told me it was him, the man from the Crawlspace. The video glitched, then cut off. When I checked the camera itself, it was on the floor, unplugged. We left that day. No goodbyes, no notice to the landlord. We drove 6 hours to stay with my brother. I thought maybe putting distance between us would help. But a week later, while I was unpacking in his guest room, I found a Polaroid inside my duffel bag. It was me sleeping on his couch the night before.